Terima kasih Bapak Yang Berhormat Siang, Amat Berhormat Tan Sri Khalid dan juga saudara seperjuangan yang baru tentang tangkapan Yang Berhormat Zaid Ibrahim, Dr. Zaid Ibrahim, Yang Berhormat Dr. Hatta, Yang Berhormat Kapasing, Yang Berhormat Sibarasa, Yang Berhormat sekalian. Selamat petang, selamat berpuasa kepada kawan-kawan Islam. I think the ISA is actually a weapon of fear. They want to strike fear into the hearts of all Malaysians. Just now when I was coming out, I was joking with a reporter friend that reporters and journalists have now joined, at the moment still opposition politicians, that they have joined us in the sense of being an object of fear. Because I heard a parent telling her children, never become a journalist or else you get arrested. They used to talk to that about Pakatan Rakyat, about PAS, DAP, PKR politicians. Never join them or you get arrested. Now that also includes journalists. So it brings to mind, I think that story, I think all of you have heard before. First they caught the communists. Then they caught the what do you call that, the Catholics. Then they started catching this and that. And finally they catch you. And when they catch you, there's nobody left to defend you because they've caught everybody. So they've caught journalists, and I don't know who they're going to catch again tomorrow. That's why ISA must be abolished, because it is a weapon of fear, and we must remove this fear from our country if our country is to progress. I think, is it not that FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, that said, when you talk about freedom from fear, the greatest freedom of all is a freedom from fear. And unless we strike out fear from our country, we can never really be free. We can never really be free to realize our potential. So I think in that regard, it is up to all of us, regardless of our political stripes, regardless of where we come from. It is up to us to abolish the ISA. There's no two ways about it. We can release all the detainees. And as Dr. Zaid Ibrahim said, should the Pakatan Rakyat, when it comes to power, we don't want the Pakatan Rakyat parties to be tempted to use the ISA. But and of course, the other point that I wish to make is how arbitrary and selective the ISA is used. It is used on as young as boys who are 14 years old. I don't know whether any one of you knows that ISA has been used on boys who are as young as 14, who happened to be caught during the Kampung Memali incident. Do you know that? Many don't know. Of course, except for our past brethren. That shows how unjust this law is. And of course, there are people who have been detained for 20 years with no recourse until when we got in to Kementing in 1987, we found those who were detained for 17, 18 years still not free. And when we raised their issues, then they were finally free. Because society has forgotten them. We cannot allow Malaysians to be forgotten by society. That's why it's up to us, the new members of parliament, in this new parliament, to cut out this cancer of society. And I just like to end by drawing how arbitrary the ISA is used. I was just seeing a report 2 days back, which I still remember, talking about there was one, the opposition leader of Penang. The opposition leader of Penang said that you should shoot the journalists. He didn't use it in English. In English, when he said that, he was using it metaphorically. He was stating in Malay, tembak itu wartawan. Now you are talking about a person who is not threatening violence. If ISA can be applied fairly and freely, then I think he deserves to have the ISA set upon him because he threatened to use violence to kill. And he said that in front of the media. It is taped. It is everywhere on the YouTube, but yet we don't see any action from the government. That's why I say this. The ISA is a political weapon a political weapon of fear, and this fear must be removed from our society. Thank you very much.